Yeah, why do you think that you didn't get that reactionary kind of gene? Is it something that like your parents instilled in you? Is it something? Is it the books you read when you're? Because sometimes I think the heroic stories that I know that's something that Destiny says. That a lot of times why he thinks he didn't turn out to be kind of like a shitbag is that he had certain heroes that had certain ideals, and that was very influential to him. Have you ever given thought about like? How can we fireproof people? How can we make people out of sturdier stuff so they don't fall for this reactionary stuff?
Yeah, well, I want to clarify. That's not to say I never had any reactionary tendencies. I mean, when I was a young boy, I still thought like women were kind of silly, and I like it's sort of the latent, almost default notions were given when we're younger, especially 10, 15, 20 years ago. I imagine now it's maybe a little different. But honestly, I think it's the reason I didn't really go down that road, I think was in part because of two things. One, I had very good parents, and still do, of course, love them. And two, because I liked gaming more than I liked the people who played those games. One thing that I've noticed is a lot of people who get into reactionary politics have hardcore parasocial relationships with online figures, many of whom are young boys who got lucky being very good at video games and have made a career off of it. And a lot of these people have categorically terrible opinions. Many of they just very bad, and a lot of it's because they're young, they're impressionable, they're very wealthy, and they everything that they have in their life is legitimately a product of their skill. If you're wealthy because you're one of the best League of Legends players on Earth, that's literally your skill. I mean, that's one of the few environments where meritocracy is actually a legitimate possibility. And because of that, I think it makes these people very arrogant and very unintrospective. And a lot of people who watch these people pick up on those views, and it disseminates and it diffuses. And that sort of through osmosis, they absorb that entitlement without any of the actual skill that propelled those people to those positions initially. I just liked the fucking games. So I didn't spend my time watching other people play the games. I just played the games myself. And I sucked at it. But I legitimately think that's actually like a really big difference in the exposure people get, especially when they're young. Because now I can watch other people play games online, but I'm old enough now to understand what they're saying and why they're saying it. But when you're like 12 or 13 years old and you're watching somebody play like Fortnite or whatever,
Yeah.
these people are gods to you. And their views, even if they don't come out and just say, like, I think Jews are controlling the world, they don't have to be overt with it or anything, but just the little subtle tendencies. That's why I get so happy with progressive, popular game streamers. I know Alpha Rad, for example, is a big one. It makes me really happy because I know there are a lot of young people who watch them, and they don't need to be turned into communists or whatever. But when they're watching that, I know they're not picking up on these subtle inclinations that may have led so many other people in a bad place. Anyway, a bit of a tangent, but I do think that has had a huge impact.